Welcome to stories about the Yellow Jackets. And I'm not talking about a ball team, I'm talking about the actual little bees that go around stinging you. And I'll tell you three really crazy stories that I had, and the story from the Cherokee Indians that say this is where that nasty little beast came from. After. So the first story is when I was a kid. And I like to go outdoors. We all went outdoors because that's what person I am. So we went in this field and we went in these little wooded thicket areas where we had pines and cedars. And I was with a friend and we were kind of stuck because you almost have to crawl through that stuff. It's so thick. And all of a sudden he said, "Hey, look!" And I turned around and looked at him. He was covered with yellow jackets. He was actually pulling them off of his shirt. And we took off running. I said, "Let's get out of here." And we took off running, ran through the field, ran to the house, through our yard, and those things chased us all the way through. Went in the house, and my mom was killing them with a broom. They came in the house, and then, she got us in some uh, baking soda in water in kind of like a tub thing, which that really helped. But I was sick for several days. But that was crazy. Those things will chase you. Now, the second story is about when I do land surveying, so I have to go out in these places that are rural. I can't just say, "Nah, I don't want to go out in the woods or where Sasquatch is and all that." No, I have to go out there, investigate for property and government and things like that. And I was doing a survey up in the mountains for this road that was coming through, and we were setting the center lines. All the movies, the surveyors are always the first ones get killed because they have to go out there where the monsters are at. Well, that's kind of what I'm saying here. And we were up in the mountains, and those suckers love the mountains. They're in there. I think kind of if you ever see like the sun rays come through on a path, watch out because I believe that's where they nest. And we were up there with four people, and all of a sudden while I was walking through, I had the instrument. I was the instrument guy. I had all the heavy duty, expensive equipment. And I saw the robin going, "Ah, ah." He was running through the woods. And I said, "What the hell?" And I looked, and then I saw the swarm. It was a big swarm. And then I said, "Oh shit." So then I turned down, and started walking down the mountain. You couldn't run down because, I mean, you'd fall down. It was steep. And they just stung me all over. But I kept going. I wasn't going to drop that equipment because guess what? You have to go back and get it. And I didn't want to come back here and get it. So, I made it down the bottom of the hill. And then all of us made it down to the bottom of the hill. And once, except for one guy, this guy called Bill. And he was like, "Hey." He was like the party chief. And he was like, we didn't see him. And we were all like stung, saying, "Oh my God." And said, "Where's Bill? Bill?" All of a sudden we heard, "Ah." So what's he laughing for? Ain't nothing to laugh about. Then we heard a crashing through the rocks and stuff. So what the hell? And then we saw him. He was and thought, what the? He dived on the ground, which is the worst thing you can ever do, and was paddling on the ground and cut his front. He came down the slope of the road, and we grabbed him and said, "Hey man, you okay?" And he's all bloody. I mean, he had his shirt was like, "Damn." And we got in the car. We got in the crew came in and said, "Hey, guys, everybody okay?" And Bill's going, "Huh?" I thought, what the hell? So this one guy said he's got an allergic reaction, so take him to the hospital. That's is a number one thing to do. Yes, we did rushed him to the hospital. He was having allergy. He didn't know he was allergic. That's a very bad thing because he had to, take these pills with him from then on. But yeah, that was a really crazy thing we had with them. And and even just lately, just this year, they made a nest at my front door as you come out the landing. Now I didn't get stung. I didn't see them, but my wife and daughter got stung, and you know, it's just bees out there 'cause it's just summertime. And then when my wife went out there, she got stung all over. And when I saw the swarm coming out, I said, I see the hole now. And it took me 2 bottles of spray from like Home Depot to get them out of there. But I did. So, yeah, I can tell you stories all the time about these creatures. So, yeah, anywhere there's like fruit or watermelons or anything like that, man, you're going to see these suckers swarming. A lot of times, where there's a lot of trash and food, they'll build a nest around that. I've seen that happen. And most of their nests are in the ground. But, I mean, they've been known to get into kind of the woodworks of houses and other places, but most of the time they're in the ground. So if you ever see anything coming out of the ground, get away from it. Just trust me. And the I know when I was a kid, I guess I'm having another story here. I buried my dog on my farmland, and I put some rocks around it. When I was going fishing one day, it's out the river. I said, I'm gonna go look at my dog's grave. As I went to go look at the grave, the damn yellow jacks came in. Oh God, they start. So those suckers actually go down in the ground in carcasses and stuff like that. I do believe it. I saw it for real. So yeah, watch out for these guys. You know, that's all I got to say about my stories. But if you have to look at the Cherokee already said, hey, I know where this came from. This is not a great mystery to us. So, a long time ago, in this Briar town in North Carolina, and it's in the um, not the Hala, not the Hala River area there in the mountains. You could look that at, not the Hala. Um, it's around Macon County. Um, there was a great insect they called Ulagu. Ulagu as big as a house, and these guys said, "Hey, what the heck?" Because the problem was with this thing, it came through there and it actually snapped up children. So, oh, we can't have this. Yeah, I was getting children. So, the Cherokee said, hey, we've got to stop this. So they came up with a plan to try to trap it. Not really trap it, but kind of find where it lives so they could kill it. Because it's just too fast, they couldn't follow it. So they're going to tie a string, big string, that they could see on animals and let it take those and try to follow that string. So first they killed a squirrel, and of course, when it came, they just snapped that up and was gone. They said, too fast. And second, they used a turkey, a little bigger, and it just snapped that up and was gone again. They said, oh crap, I can't see it. Then they said, oh, let's use a quarter of a deer. So they had a quarter of a deer and tied on a string, and guess what? It took off and they couldn't see it. So dang. So okay, let's use a whole deer. So they used a whole deer, and this time it slowed it down just enough where the hunters could follow that tag that was on that string was on the deer. So they followed it down in the gorge of that, the Natahaley Mountains, and they found that it was living in a cave. Yeah, they found this big cave in the rocks, and um, when they went down there, they noticed that not only was it was in there, but there was little tiny ones running around. These little suckers around there even back then, of course. And they said, "Oh heck, we got to figure a way to kill it." So they came up with a great plan, and that was to burn brush and stuff. So they burned stuff the front of it, and it actually didn't burn it. It just smothered it because bees don't like smoke. Um, so that actually killed it. And but those little yellow jackets, they got away. And that's the ones they're kind of doing the same thing. They're fierce today. They go out there, but they turn in a big swarm, and that's kind of represents the Ulagu, the big bee. And that is something you just don't want to deal with, but this is. I mean, this sounds great to me. How these little critters could come around from this Cherokee story. It does sound legitimate to me. I don't know if there's a big one or not, but I do know that they probably had problems with these things. Good deal. Hope you don't ever get stung by these fellas. If you do, go to the hospital, go to the emergency room. That's the best advice I got. See you later.